Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make the perfect stealth camping furnace out there. Now, I've definitely tried out a few different designs over the course of a couple years. Definitely found that this design was the best. And before you judge a book by its cover here, make sure to watch all the way to the end so you can see this stealth furnace as I'm coining the name of it. Yeah, make sure you watch till the end and let me know what you think. Definitely, I recommend trying out this design for sure. And so let's jump right into it on the few things you'll need. First of all, you're going to need a few tomato cans. That's what these were. I don't know exactly what the size is, but you can see they're not too big. Your classic tomato can. There's a fresh one right there. Those cans you're seeing there are actually after 2 seasons worth, and it's still holding up. So not only does this thing work, but it's also pretty long lasting for what it is and how much it's worth. That there is the other part of the chimney. We'll get into that in a little bit. You can see that goes right onto there. That's if you want to put this thing inside your tent, which I have done, and worked great. And of course, I had a carbon monoxide detector in there for a little while. And after figuring out that this thing works great as long as you don't overstuff it, and once it gets its draw going, it's pretty hard for any smoke to leak out of there. And man, does it really warm up a small tent, I must say. It gets too hot. And so anyways, you're going to want to hollow out a couple of these cans. And you don't have to make it 3 tall like I did here. I made it that tall so you can stuff some bigger logs in there if you wish. But you're going to want to hollow out the top of one can there for sure. And you're going to want to make a front part where you can stuff in some fuel for your fire. And if you look near the bottom of the cans there, I know it's hard to see, but I got a couple of holes right near the bottom just to add a little bit of extra air so that it burns a little bit better. And what I used to do is put some magnets over the holes there, just kind of act as like a control for how quick everything burns in this furnace. But you can see what I used to connect the cans there was just some simple air clamps for filters and stuff and hoses on cars. They were pretty big ones, so make sure to get a relatively big size. And you can see I kept the top of a can there, and I got a little magnet, and you can actually use that as a little door for your furnace, just to stop any sparks or anything from coming out or falling. It's a pretty simple design. All you need is some tomato cans, clamps, something to cut the holes with. As you can see, I was just using some side cutters, believe it or not. You could cut these holes a lot nicer if you wanted to. Be very careful with the edges on these things. I highly recommend filing them down so you're not cutting yourself. And if you make a chimney out the back like I did here, you can use the top of the furnace as a little place to cook things, which works great. You'll see later on I heated up a cup of water out here in the dead of winter. And so the way to seal up those holes, if you're not absolutely perfect with cutting them out, would be to use some of this stuff. Found it was the best. All it is some exhaust cement. And you may have most of this stuff at your house, which would be great. But if you don't, it's probably going to cost you under $20 to get a really nice working furnace. I think that beats anything you can find out there on the internet. So this stuff right here, the reason why I got it is because it's really, really heat resistant. I don't know if you can see there, but it's up to 815 degrees Celsius. That's super, super high. And this furnace gets really, really hot. So you're going to want something like that. I originally used some clay in the back here, and it worked good for a while, I must say. Just some clay, like you can see I made out of that container right there. It sealed it up. It held great, did a great job. The only problem was if you move around the furnace a bunch of times, the clay tends to crack and then it falls off. So it's not a long-lasting thing, whereas this white exhaust cement really does the job, and you don't have to worry about any leaks forming randomly. So that's basically it. It's doesn't take a few things to just keep in mind is definitely don't overstuff this thing. If you overstuff this thing with a bunch of fuel when you're first starting to light it, you may have to it may go out really quick just because the oxygen flow isn't quite there. So make sure to get, kind of like you do with any campfire, get a decent fire going in there first. Slowly add your fire, slowly build it up, add bigger pieces, and once this thing gets going, it burns so efficiently that it rarely makes ever any smoke, which is why I thought it would be the best stealth camping furnace that you could have, for sure. The only issue is if you start to overstuff it, or for some reason something goes wrong, it will make a little bit of smoke because it's starting to burn less efficient, right? That smoke is a byproduct of the fire, or whatever is burning, not quite burning fully, right? So when you get almost no smoke, it's because the fire is burning so efficiently that there's nothing left, basically. All the fuel's being burnt. Kind of similar to, smoke coming out of your exhaust. If you got issues with your car, things not being burnt properly or fully, you may get some weird smokes coming out of the back of your exhaust pipe that you're not supposed to have. Kind of the same thing here. So once you get this thing made up and sealed up and made to your liking, like I said, you don't have to make it 3 tall. You can make it just 2 tall. And if you don't really need it for cooking, you can just make the hole right out of the top on the last can there. And you can make your exhaust just come right out of the top, which you saw in the picture earlier there. That did work. I just found that you're losing a lot of the heat very quickly, and it doesn't quite, stay as hot. I was really using this thing out here in the dead of winter, you can see, and just that little bit of extra heat efficiency really made a difference. So I liked to make the exhaust out the back there, and all you got to do is take your top can, which should have the complete bottom cut off, but the top's still on there, and you're going to want to make a relatively smaller hole. And then I took some smaller cans there, like some soup cans, hollowed them out. Make sure to try to take all the glue and packaging off of it, or else you're going to get some weird smells when you first make your first few fires in the thing. And again, try to clean out the inside the best you can, or you may get some tomato smell, cooking tomatoes. But yeah, and then you take those smaller soup cans and you combine them together again, like I did with a smaller air filter hose clamp. And once you got your smaller hole in the back of your top soup can, if you make it the right size, you'll be able to stuff that smaller soup can right inside of the larger tomato can there. And then you can do the same with the other smaller can and stuff that in there. Now, if you got a welder, this would be a lot easier just to weld all that stuff, and then you never have to worry. But if you're like me and you kind of want to go the cheap way and the easy way, get yourself some exhaust cement and just seal up the excess holes there if you didn't cut them out quite perfectly. That's where you use the exhaust cement. And I'm sure from just looking at the can here and stuff, I'm sure you can figure out how to make this thing. It's not too difficult. But if you got any questions, let me know. And once you finally get this thing lit, like I'm struggling to do here this whole time, because I definitely overstuffed it. So just showing you what happens when you overstuff it. You're gonna have difficulty getting this thing started, but if you don't overstuff it, you should be it should start up, kind of like any fireplace or any good stove. So anyways, once you get it lit, I would say go ahead and grab either a pan or grab yourself a cup of water. Get yourself your favorite tea or coffee, whatever you like. And you can see it's actually running right now, and there's almost no smoke coming out of the back there, which is pretty insane. And I got a way bigger piece in there now because I finally got it going. And I got the GoPro there. You'll see a nice little time lapse coming up of it running. And this was very little fuel, and it actually ran for almost an hour, which was surprising. So if you're wondering about efficiency, yeah, it lasts quite a while. It doesn't go through too much fuel. So anyways, I stuffed my cup of water on there. Thing's still burning like crazy. You can see barely any smoke. Look at that. That's beautiful, right? Once it gets going. So that's the benefits of this stove, and I think I'm just gonna let this thing run out and play here, and go ahead and watch and enjoy the sounds of this thing that it makes, and go ahead and just check out the rest of the video. I think I did enough talking. I don't think you guys need to hear me talk any longer. So yeah, I do really recommend this, and if you guys like videos like this and you want to see more, or you want to see this furnace maybe more in action, like cooking up some eggs or something, let me know. And if you decide to make this thing too, let me know as well. I'd like to know what you guys think of this design and how it works. If you're wondering how I keep that really tall chimney on the back there for when I have it in my tent, I just used some decent magnets, and I just stuck them right on the back there, and then you stick the chimney and you slide it right over, and the magnets usually hold it in place really well, even on those really, really windy days. But yeah, you can see the water's really heating up now, even though it's like minus 20 out here today. Yeah, I'll just let this play through. I hope you enjoy, and definitely stay tuned if you want to see more. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.